You show up to a date already feeling like the other person's better than you, or gosh, I feel so lucky that this person even likes me. I can't believe I got a date with them, or you just feel less than. It completely comes off in how you act. The problem with dating, when you are riddled with anxiety and self-doubt and insecurities, is not only are you not going to have a good time on your date isn't going to have a good time on that date. And the big problem with that is someone you really like might not ask you out again. The person you went on the date with might never remember a word that you said. I mean, if they really like you, they'll probably remember a lot of what you said. But most importantly, they're going to remember how they felt that night. Ladies, I have gotten way more second date invitations when I show up to that first date confident with what I am bringing to that date. But how do you get there? How do you get to that place of pure calm and confidence when you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself to begin with? I mean, have you ever been so nervous before a date because it's so important to you that this person that you likes you back, that you actually throw up before they come to get you? I've been there. Hello friends, my name is Maria, and for almost 20 years, I let my poor mental health, lack of self-confidence, and insecurities completely railroad my dating life. That is until the day I sat down, took a moment to paint my nails, and decided, you know what? This is not working. I'm getting dumped by guys left and right, and it's time for me to start doing everything differently. Grab a bottle of nail polish, let me know in the comments what color you are showing your self-love with today, and let's talk. Welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about looks. We also have to take care of the inner half, because no matter how much on dates we might look like we have our stuff together, if you are a nervous wreck on the inside, the person that you're with can tell. Now, this first point might be incredibly hard for some of you, especially very anxious people or women that have very masculine tendencies, but I'm telling you right now, this is one of the most important and kindest things you can ever do for yourself if you are really looking to calm your anxious attachment tendencies in the dating world. I feel like you are going to end up putting way more pressure on yourself if you are the one who is always asking other people out on dates, if you are the one who is always initiating the text messages or initiating the invitations. You will feel 10 times more confident on that date when you at least have the peace of knowing that you were invited out. So you know that the person who invited you actually wants to spend time with you. If you are always trying to chase down other people or beg them to spend time with you in the form of trying to convince them to spend time with you, like, yeah, come on, it'll be fun. It sounds breezy, but you're actually going to end up on dates with people where you don't know if they're actually there because they want to be there, or are they there because they're just bored, or are they there because you convinced them to spend time with you. This will wreak havoc on your nervous system. And I remember when I was younger, I think I had convinced myself that this was more fun. It's the chase, it's the dopamine of liking someone and inviting them out, and you actually get them to come out with you, and what a rush. Let me tell you, as someone who has been there and done that for almost 20 years, that at first it might seem fun, but as you get older and you have started now, because you've made this a habit, you never feel secure that the date actually wants to be there with you, or you end up getting attached to people who are constantly, chasing people isn't fun anymore. You start to feel like you always have to chase people, which starts to make you feel like you are not as good as anyone else. You start to feel like you are someone who has to convince people to spend time with you. You start to feel like someone who never really feels included in groups of people. And then it starts to turn into that nasty question of how come the guys I like never like me back? And if you want the answer to that question, I do have a video which I will link in the description down below. When you continue to go out on dates with people who you can tell are pretty indifferent about being out with you, that's what starts to make you feel like you have to try harder to impress people. You're overselling yourself to someone because you're coming from a place of insecurity, and I'm not good enough. Everyone in my life I've had to chase down, so I must be someone who's undesirable to be around. I have to start negotiating with people, like, please spend time with me. I won't take up much of your time. I don't want that much. It's okay if we're friends with benefits. It's okay if we have this situationship. I don't need that much. And you start taking anything you can get. When I began to lean back in my dating life and make my way in the world and let guys that were interested in me start actually asking me out, and then I got to tell them yes or no based on whether or not I actually was interested in going out with them, you wouldn't believe the shift in my attitude going out on dates. I was driving with a friend of mine to a date that I was going to out at a dance club, and I remember looking over at her and thinking, well, I didn't think it, I said it out loud. That's how you know something's real, when you say it out loud. And I said to her, you know what? I'm really glad that I got invited out tonight, because I remember what it was like if I had tried to convince the person to go out with me, or if I had been the one who initiated the date and I didn't really know if they wanted to actually be there with me. And it was kind of an awful feeling, and I didn't realize how awful and nerve-wracking that feeling was until I didn't experience it anymore, because I finally had a different experience. I experienced what it was like to be joining someone on a date who actually I had the confidence of knowing they wanted to be there with me. You know, all of us have our own struggles, and if you are interested in the subject of navigating your dating and relationships with a healthier, happier mindset, then please subscribe or share this video with a girl that you know is struggling, because goodness knows, I wish I had known this stuff years ago. I do think it's really important that you yourself look very nice. Like, I've been to plenty of parties where I have made sure that, like, my hair and my makeup is on point. But have you ever met somebody who they're just radiant and attractive, and it doesn't really matter what they're wearing? It doesn't stop you from being able to tell that that person is lovely, or that they're a good person, or they have a good sense of humor. Show up to your date as the person who got asked out in the first place. If you're not someone who usually dresses over the top or wears spiky heels, do not make the mistake of doing that to impress someone on the date, especially if you don't know how to actually walk in the heels. Some of the best social events and dates I've ever been on, I was probably wearing jean shorts and flip-flops, because I started out not having any huge pressure expectations for anything. I just wanted to look my best but be comfortable, and when I went in without any expectations, 9 times out of 10 it ended up being way better than I thought it was going to be. And because I was having more fun, it helped the people around me have more fun, and you just start bouncing off of that energy. I guess on one hand you can appreciate the fact that someone obviously cares a lot what you think of them. But you know what? Sometimes caring what people think of us too much can start to make attraction go in the other direction. You know, I've made the mistake of going on dates where I really wanted to impress the guys, so I would wear something very impressive, and a lot of times I ended up feeling overdressed, self-conscious. I went to a line dancing bar once, and the outfit I wore was like totally saloon themed, over the top, and it was a cute outfit, and I did have a couple girls that like wanted to get their picture with me, but it totally backfired, because I ended up feeling like I stuck out like a sore thumb, because all the other girls there were wearing cute ripped up jeans and little tank tops, which is what I used to wear to go to line dancing places before somewhere along the way in my life I had experienced so much rejection in the dating world that I started to feel like I had to do more and more things to impress my dates, and it totally backfires. I felt like I stood out so much I didn't even want to get out on the dance floor. I felt like everyone was looking at me, and I wasn't able to just blend in and feel comfortable. And when you feel comfortable, that's when you're laughing, that's when you're having a great time, you're smiling, you're radiant, you know, you're out on that dance floor dancing around everybody else and tripping up and having fun, and your date is definitely going to have more fun when you're having more fun. So oh, snapper dapper. You know what, right there, that's a perfect example. When I'm actually being myself. Did you like me more? Did you like snapper dapper girl more? The girl that's klutzy and spills the nail polish? When you show up to dates as yourself, that's when you're gonna get more dates because you're acting like the person that they asked out. If you're not having a good time, they're not gonna have as good of a time. Especially if they do like you and they care about you, they're gonna be freaking out thinking that you're not having fun, and it's gonna raise their anxiety. And that's kind of the issue with all of this. We have to take the anxiety down. We take the anxiety down by making sure that we are meeting people for dates who are genuinely interested in us in the first place. We take the anxiety down by going out as our true, genuine selves. We show up as the person that got asked out in the first place because that was the person that attracted them. We show up as someone wearing something comfortable that you're not going to feel like you stick out in, and we're going to bring the anxiety down by showing up to dates that we would go on just for the sake of going on it because we think that it's fun. And if you do these things, you will go from being an anxious Annie to a sundown socialite. By Sally Hansen. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting The Other Half.